Good morning, everybody. I've had a few requests to do a service on this. It's not it's not something I would ever think about doing a service on, but I've had 3 or 4 people that asked me to do one. And once I got thinking about it, I thought, well, yeah, I probably should do one because there's a lot of this issue out there. So I asked God, I said, all right, Lord, I'm going to preach on this. I need scriptures and I need a good understanding of it. So what I was asked to preach on was marriages. Now, I know nobody here right now is married, but this could be a good, if you're not married, this could give you a better understanding of what marriage is. And as 13 years as a preacher and 7 or 8 years as a police officer, you learn stuff about marriages, especially as a police officer. Well, you find out people really don't love each other. It's bad sometimes. But the one thing that I found out that I have found, it seems to be the biggest problem in a marriage, is the lack of communication. The married people or couples, period, have a real hard time communicating with each other. All right? But here's the weird thing. Before they got married, that wasn't an issue. But as soon as they get married, suddenly they stop talking to each other. Guys are bad at this. Guys are real bad at this. See, because guys has always been taught, you got an issue, swallow it and keep going. We're taught not to talk about our feelings or our issues. So we don't do it. But let's understand something. And for video out here, guys, let's understand something. If we can't tell our wives or our girlfriends what's going on inside of us, how do we expect that woman to help? Okay? Marriage is 50-50. You're equally yoked. You become one in flesh when you get married. Okay? So if men are not speaking with problems they have or what issues they have in the marriage or anywhere else, how can we expect to get that fixed? How can we expect to work this out? Because we got married people out there and couple people out there fighting over dumb stuff. I mean, over literally dumb stuff. And I found, and this is so weird to me, but I found this to be one of an argument. A way the toilet paper was put on a roll. Who cares if it's over or under? But people argue about that.
Just glad that you got it.
Yeah, people argue about that. See, when I found out, and all the years that I've been here, is we argue over dumb stuff just because we want to be right. Mm-hmm. We don't want our husband or our wives to be right. We want to be right. We got pride. We want to make sure our pride is boosted instead of facing the concept of who really cares? Okay? Who cares? Something that stupid and that dumb of which way the toilet paper's on a roll is stupid. What makes the difference? Why do we got to fight and argue about something like that? Okay? Arguments is nothing more than both people trying to prove they're right. And you know what's worse? Is the person that is wrong and know they're wrong, they're still going to argue about it to make themselves look right. Communication is the biggest problem in any relationship. I'm going to say something else going to freak a lot of people out. That includes the relationship with God, a lack of communication. As I said earlier, guys will not tell you what's going on. We've been taught from the day that we can talk to suck it up and keep going. We won't say nothing. And then on the flip side of this, okay, because I'm attacking everybody here, men and women. I'm getting them both. The flip side of this is a lot of women, and I mean a lot of women, how do I say this? Will ask questions just to provoke a fight.
Yeah, they do.
They will ask questions that they know no matter how the man answers that question, they've got something to be mad about.
They're soul searching for a reason.
They're soul searching for a reason. And they ask questions that they know there's no correct answer to. All right? A big question I found out with a lot of females is questions like this. They go up to their man. Honey, would you kiss my best friend to save my life? That's a trick question.
Mm-hmm.
That's a trick question. Because if the man says yes, which any man's going to, all right? Because if you come up to me and say, hey, would you kiss my best friend to save my life? Women, understand the concept of men here. Okay? If a woman asks a man that question, that man is going to say yes. Why? Because it saves her life. That was the question.
Yep.
All right? So any man's going to say yes because it saves her life. She's instantly going to switch that to, oh, so you like my best friend more.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so you'll kiss my best friend. Switch. It's a loaded question that there's no correct answer to. And if the man says no, because now in his mind, he's thinking, wait a minute, this is a trick question. If I say yes, I'm going to get in trouble.
If you say no, you're still going to
And if you say no, you're still going to get in trouble.
Right.
What? You don't love me enough to do that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay? It's serious. There's questions like that. I've been through. Women ask loaded questions just to start a fight. And I'll tell you another reason why men don't open up. Because if a man, like that situation right there, we'll just stay with that one. With that situation right there, somewhere down the road, another argument's going to be started, and the first thing that woman's going to say is, well, won't you go be with my best friend? You want to kiss her?
Yep.
These are loaded questions they can use later on down the road.
They won't forget them either.
And they won't forget them. And they do this. That's why men don't talk. That's why men don't share feelings. Because 9 times out of 10, if a man shares his feelings with his woman, it's going to be used against him down the road. It's going to be used against him. Women has changed so much since me and you was born. So much since me and you was born. Okay, back in my day, when you was married, it was a couple thing. It was a one in flesh. Nowadays, it's, can you please me? Can you give me everything I want? And if not, I'm going to move on to someone else.
But they do it anyways.
Yeah, they do it. It's a constant thing. Marriages, you was married for 54 years?
52 years.
52 years. Anybody born from the 60s before stayed married no matter what. Nowadays, they'll stay married for a year, then leave. Some of them don't even last a year.
Just 2 days.
Most of them get married to entrap the other one to stay married long enough to divorce them to take them for everything they got.
To get everything they got. Yep. And that's the way it is.
To me, that's an entrapment.
That is entrapment. Women do it, and men are dumb enough to fall for it.
Men do it too,
Yep.
whether they're
Yep.
married or not.
Yep. Okay? So, communication is the biggest part of problems in marriages. You should be able to talk to your spouse about anything. Anything. I don't care what it is. It should be talked about and not argued about. If whatever's on your mind is making you so angry, shut up. Shut up. Go chew out somewhere for a little bit, then come back and talk about it. Arguing and fighting is not communication. It's far from it. You need to chill. You need to calm down. Go have a cup of tea or whatever the case may be. Guys, go play around the golf or go fishing. Do whatever. But calm down. And once you calm down, come back and talk about it. Now, I'm going to take this a little further. Okay? This is also what's that word, Lord? I want to make sure I said it right. Say it right. I can't say it. Now, Lord, how would I put this so it don't fit anybody? Love making issues. I guess that would be.
Intimacy.
Yes, yeah, that word there. I couldn't say it.
I figured that's what you were trying to
What,
say.
what is it again?
Intimacy.
Intimacy.
Yes.
All right, thank you. I was sitting there trying to get it out, but I couldn't get it out.
I figured that's what it was.
That should be talked about too. All right, there should be communications on that. All right, because if one is not pleasing the other, or the other is not pleasing the one, there's issues. And when this is not happening, that's what causes that other person to go find somebody that can and that will. Okay, so that should be talked about too. All right, there should be communications in every aspect of marriage, every aspect. If you don't, and it's the same way with God. What I'm about to say here right now is the same way with God. If you don't tell the person what the problem is, how can that person fix it?
You got people out there that you can talk about it and they can say, well, this would fix it. Then they'd still go out and do other stuff because they want you as well as they want a bunch of other ones.
Right.
But
right.
yet they don't want someone else to have you because if you move on, then they're without.
Right. Yeah, there is a lot of that going on. There's a lot of that. Some people just cannot be satisfied. That's period. In any aspect of life. That's period.
That's anything.
Okay. But we're talking about, right now, I'm talking about the ones that's married and this is what they need to do. You know, they need to communicate and everything. Okay. They need to communicate. They need to talk about every aspect of their life. Okay. Another reason I see marriages that fail, date night stops. There's no more date nights. You get married, okay? Before you got married, you went out every weekend or every other weekend. You went and did this together. You went and did that together. For whatever reason, as soon as you get married, that stops. There's no more date nights. There's no more romance. There's no more anything like that. It just stops. That's another problem in marriages. We marry the person that we think we're in love with. Somebody that makes us feel special. I can't talk today. All right? We marry that person. And we marry that person because we want to spend the rest of our lives with them. Or at least that should be why you're marrying that person. Okay? But once we get married, once we get that piece of paper, now this is where I'm going to attack a lot of guys. Once we get that piece of paper, for some odd reason, we automatically think we own that person. You don't own anybody. That person is not your property. You're not the boss of that person. That person is not your slave, not your toy. It's your wife. It's the one that you became one with.
It's the one that you're supposed to love, honor, and cherish.
Love, honor, and cherish no matter what.
That's what the wedding vows say.
But I'll tell you what the problem with this is. Most of your wedding vows is not under a covenant.
Exactly.
Most people go to a chapel in Las Vegas to get married.
Or a courthouse.
or a courthouse or in front of a judge. There's no covenant there. No covenant. But when you get married, whether it's in a courthouse or whatever, when you get married, you're getting married in the sight of God. You're getting married in God's sight. So that covenant should be automatically there no matter where you get married. But for whatever reason, once that man gets that piece of that license that says you're married, automatically he thinks he owns her. Okay? Sorry, you don't. Nobody owns anybody. So that should be something that a man should get out of their head right now. You're supposed to love, honor, and cherish that woman. You're supposed to be there for that woman when she needs you. Now, I understand that there's some women out there that's way too needy. Okay?
That's just ridiculous.
But let's understand something. You knew that before you married her. All right? Another reason I see marriages don't fail, or that marriages fail, because they marry way too early. If you've known somebody for a month or two and you get married, I'm sorry. And I'm sorry to put it this way, but you're an idiot. You're an idiot. You cannot know anybody in 2 months. Okay? That's not love, that's lust. You're not marrying that person for the right reason. You're marrying them because they got money or other things that I won't say over the mic. Okay? You're marrying them for the wrong reason. I will tell you, and I believe this is true, and most marriage counselors and so on and so forth will tell you the same thing. Date somebody for a year before you marry them. And I'll tell you why. Within a year, you will know their good habits and their bad habits. What kind of person they actually are. You can't find that out in 2 months.
I would say longer.
So if you get married within 6 months or before, you shouldn't have. You should have not. You should have not. Okay? I could literally make this a 2-part series. But I'm going to, and I might. I don't know. I might. All right? But them right there are 2 top reasons that I see most marriages fail. Communication and no more date nights. And let me tell you something. And I know this goes for men and women. Okay? If you lose trust in your marriage, it'll never be the same again. It won't. I know. If a man, if anybody goes cheats on anybody, that person has lost trust in there. Okay? They've lost trust. And that marriage will never be the same. Because that person that was cheated on is always waiting to get cheated on again.
Because they know it's going to happen.
Because they know it's going to happen. Okay? And I'm sorry. I'm sorry, there ain't no mistakes when it comes to big cheating.
I was drunk.
Yeah, and that's the big thing. Well, I was drinking. Too bad. You still did it. Or you ain't doing this or you ain't doing that. Okay? Again, lack of communication.
Here's my thing about the drinking part when they go to cheat. If you're sober enough to know that that's not your wife/husband and you're not at home, then you still know what's going on.
Yeah, you know what's going on. Let's face it.
They're
Most
not
people
going
that go to a bar is looking for something besides alcohol. Married or not married, they're looking for something. Okay? So saying that I was drunk, that's just an excuse that don't fly. Okay? To stay on this one. Women, like I said, I'm attacking both sides here. Women have a tendency to nag too much. And they nag about stuff that don't need to be nagged about. And part of their nagging is this. They nag, they get mad about dumb stuff, stupid stuff, get too emotional. And that word I couldn't pronounce earlier, intimacy leaves. The woman's, I got a headache. I just washed my hair. My back hurts. They always got an excuse not to. Well, think about this. That's part of marriage. And if you're shutting off to your man, if you're shutting everything off, emotional, so on and so forth, if you're shutting that off, that man is going to go look somewhere else to get it. Vice versa with the woman. If the man shuts off, the woman's going to do the same thing. Okay? That's why communication is so important. That's why being 100% honest with each other is important. I cannot fix a problem. I don't have a wife, but if I had a wife, I cannot fix a problem if she don't tell me what that problem is. We can't save our marriage unless we're being 100% honest with each other. And we can't do this through anger. We got to do it through peaceful talking. Okay? We have to do it peaceful talking. I can keep going on like this, but I'm going to go with some scriptures now. Because I can go on forever. Genesis 2:24. And Genesis 2:24 says this. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they become one flesh. All right? So, God already knows that a man needs a woman. And men, if you're watching this on video, you know it's true too. But we need more from women than just the one thing that most men look for. There's more to a woman than that. That's why they're not toys. We become one in flesh. What's that mean? That means nobody makes a decision on their own. Marriage is 50-50. All right? Now, back in our day, Jan, the woman stayed home and the man went out and provided. Okay? You can't do that nowadays unless you're rich. If you're not rich, then both sides has to work. All right? But we're still at one. We make decisions together. We raise kids together. We do housework together. Everything is 50-50. If you're trying to make it 60-40 or 70-30, your marriage ain't going to work. All right? It's not going to work. All right? But I'm going to say this. And I know a lot of people is going to get mad when they watch this video, but I don't care. But we got to remember this. According to the Bible, the man is the head of the house, as God is the head of the church. Okay? So the man has the final decision. Okay? Now, what do I mean by that? We got too many women out there that want all this big expensive stuff. Gucci bags, Porsches, so on and so forth. Okay? And they're trying to talk their man into it, and the man knows with his paycheck they can't afford that. So they sit and talk about it. The woman tries and tries to convince the man to do it. The man knows you can't do it. So the woman should be satisfied with the answer no. We do not have the money to do this. We cannot do this. Okay, so man's got the final decision. Should have. But everything should be talked about first. The man just shouldn't come up and say, no, we're not doing that. No, we're not doing that. He should explain why that can't happen. Okay? So anything, kids, house, cars, whatever, everything should be talked about. It should be discussed between the two, and both of you come up with an answer. Because men want stuff sometimes too. I'm a golfer, y'all know that. And right now I'm single, so if I want a new set of golf clubs, I can just go get them. All right? But if I got a wife, then I got to be considerate enough to say, hey, I would like to have a new set of golf clubs. What do you think? Can we afford it? All right? So it should be talked out. Again, this is part of that communication. But at the end, the man's final say-so is way it should be. Now, it's not that way nowadays, because nowadays everybody's become lovers of themselves, and if you can't give it to me, I'll go find somebody that will. Which they don't realize there's going to come a time that that person is no longer going to give them anymore, and they're going to leave them and go get someone else. All right? That's not what marriage is. Marriage is not what can you do for me. Marriage is what can we do for each other. I know a lot of men will not, what's a good word to use here? If they see their woman upset, they won't go up and ask why. They'll just ignore it and hope it goes away. They won't go up to her and say, hey, what's going on? Well, talk to me. They won't do that. They just let them figure it out on their own. And no, you're one in flesh. You're no longer two, you're now one. It's no longer him and her, it's them. Okay? So everything's got to be talked about.
Mr. and Mrs.
It's got to be talked about. Okay? So you become one in flesh. You become one person. Okay? You ever notice at the end of this, to get married, they'll be pronounced Mr. and Mrs. whatever the guy's name is. Okay? So you're one person now. And everything should be as one, not as two. That's a big problem in relationships. Everybody wants it their own way. No, you're one. Figure it out. Communicate. Figure it out.
And my philosophy is, if you don't want to do that, stay single.
Yeah, if you're not, yeah, you're right. If you are not willing to become one in flesh, if you're not willing to do what a marriage needs to be done, stay single. You're absolutely right. Stay single. If you cannot listen, when you get married, you don't give half your hurt away. You give all of your hurt away. You don't give half your emotions away. You give all of your emotions away. So if you're not willing to accept that responsibility of marriage, don't get married. If you're not willing to stay with that person through thick or thin, don't get married. Stay single. Because it's not just one anymore. So stay single. So you become one in flesh. There's no more me and you. It's us. All right, so next place I want to take you is to Matthew's. Let's go to Matthew's 19. Matthew's 19. Now again, these scriptures are reading from the Bible. They're not so saith Dwayne. They're so saith God. All right? So in Matthew's 19, verse 4, it says this. And this is going to tickle a lot of people in the wrong way, but hey. And this is Jesus speaking. These are red words. These are Jesus speaking. And he answered and said unto them, have ye not read that in which was made them at the beginning, male is made male and female? And he said, for this cause he shall leave his father and his mother and cleave to his wife, and they shall twine and become one in flesh. Wherefore there are no more twine, but one flesh. What therefore God has joined together, let not man put asunder. Okay, so what's this saying? First of all, and I know people watching this video is going to get upset with me, but hey, that's red words. That's Jesus speaking. First of all, God made man and he made woman. That's the only two types of people out there, men and women. There ain't no, I used to be a man, now I want to be a woman. There ain't no, used to be a woman, I want to be a man. There ain't no, according to the Bible, same-sex marriages? No. No. God made man, God made woman. Why did he make woman? All right, we can go right back to Genesis on this. And this is something both sides, man and woman, need to understand. God made Adam. Adam was in the garden. Adam was naming all the animals. All right? So all the animals out here with names on them, Adam gave. Okay? And then God says, you know what? I need to make him now check this out, people. This is very important. A help mate. A help mate. He didn't say I need to make him a wife. He didn't say I need to make him a girlfriend. He said I need to make him a help mate. Ladies, what does that mean to you, a help mate? That means you're there to help that man no matter what. No matter what the situation is. Men, you on the video, they are there to help you through your life. Not to be your slave, not to be your toy, or not to be your punching bag, or your abusive words. They're there to help you. Okay? If a woman is not helping their man, that's the wrong woman. You got the wrong woman. God made Eve to be a helpmate. Think about this. How many different species of animals is on this earth?
Everywhere.
And Adam, all by himself, had to come up with names with every one of them. Now, you can imagine God was up there going, oh, that poor guy, I need to get him some help. And he made a woman. He made a woman from man. That's why you're a helpmate.
Specify where a woman comes from.
A woman comes from a man. If you read back in Genesis, and I strongly encourage you to go back to Genesis and read it in Adam and Eve, Eve was made from Adam's rib. God put Adam to sleep so he wouldn't feel no pain or anything like that. Put him to sleep, took a rib from him, and made Eve. Remember, Adam was made from the dust of the earth. Okay? Eve was made from a rib. Okay? So women are actually part of men. And that's why you're considered a helpmate. Not a boss, not a controller. You are a mate, a helpmate. You're supposed to be there to help your husband through the thick and thin. Okay? And man being the head of the house, he's supposed to honor and cherish his wife. Not go drinking all out on her, cheating on her, hitting her, punching her, abusing her, and all that. No. No. You're supposed to honor and to cherish her. Women are a helpmate. Women are put on earth because God knew us men was going to mess up. God knew us men are not smart enough to get through lives all by ourselves. We need him, first of all. We need God, first of all. All right? Because without God, we ain't got nothing. But God was smart enough to know that men was going to try to do stuff all by themselves without any help because we're men. And God said, no, I'm going to give you a helpmate to help equal your brain, to get your brain in level. Because, hey, let's be honest. Some point in life, we need help. We need somebody. You know, right now, all three of us, we know that we could use someone at certain times and certain days. So that's why God made women, to be a helpmate. Not to be an enforcer, not to be an abuser, not to be cheaters, but to help the person you're married, that you're going to marry. You're to help them. You need to stand beside your man no matter what decision he makes, even if you don't agree with it. Okay? Because let's face it, there's a lot of, and this goes both ways, okay? But there's a lot of men out there that hear from God, and women, and some women don't. So if that means hearing from God, that woman needs to just say, okay, we'll do it. Okay, let's do it. Now, if a man comes up and requests something way off the freaking line, then no, you don't you don't agree with it. Okay? but you're put on as a helpmate. So, men, the Bible says that one day you're going to leave your mom and dad. You're going to find a woman. Your eyes are going to meet. You're going to fall in love. Okay? You're going to be with them for a while. Then eventually you're going to get married. You're going to take them on. You're going to take them on to support them, to provide for them. If you cannot support and provide for a woman, don't get one. Stay single until you can. If you ain't got something to offer a woman besides what everybody nowadays think they should be offered,
Intimacy.
don't take one. Stay single. Okay? Stay single. Guys have friends that are females, and females have guy friends. Okay? There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing at all wrong with that. If you're single, you ain't got a wife, or you ain't got a husband, there's nothing wrong with you go talking to your friend. Okay? There's nothing wrong with that. But if you're married, it's no longer your friend's business. What happens in your house stays in your house. You don't go around talking about the other people. Now, if the man's being abusive and beating on you and stuff like that, then yes, you should get something done about that. Quickly. Okay? So you're going to. You're going to go out. You're going to find a woman. You're going to fall in love. You're going to get married. She's now your responsibility. If you have any kids, they're your responsibility. You need to take care of all of them. And if you can't do that, don't do that. Stay single. Stay single if you can't do it. Let's go to Ephesians 5:33. Ephesians 5:33. Nevertheless, let every one of you in particular so love his wife, even as himself. And the wife see that she references her husband. You have to love your wife as much as you love yourself. You should love your wife more than you love yourself. But don't love anybody more than God. God should be your number one and biggest love in the world. He should be the one that is telling you what to do with your family. He should be the one giving you the wisdom and answers to take care of what you take care of. Your wife is not underneath you. She is beside you. She's not underneath you. She's not above you. She's with you. And as soon as you start putting your wife underneath you, you're going to lose that wife. As soon as you start putting your wife above you, you're going to lose you. You're equal. You're one. The one is what counts. Not the two, the one. So love your wife with all your heart, with all your mind and all your soul. And always be there for her. Always treat her nice. Always show her love. Buy her flowers. Buy her candy. Take her somewhere for her birthday. Take her somewhere just because you want to. You got kids? I got kids. We ain't got time for this. Boom. Boom. You got time. There's always time. That's why they have babysitters. So you got time. That's why they have family. So you got time. Remember earlier I said date night stops. Romance stops. That should never happen. Should never happen. somewhere along the line, you can afford to go do something. Even if it's just take a walk, go get a cup of coffee, go to Taco Bell, go somewhere. Okay? And women, you should see how much that man loves you and respect him in that and give him the same respect back. Because respect gets lost in a marriage.
That's what I was going to say. There is no such thing as respect anymore.
Not anymore. There's no such thing as respect anymore. There is absolutely is not. But there should be. There should be for
Never
sure.
And generally, that starts within the home that they're being raised in.
Yes. You're right. See, and that's the problem nowadays. Back in my day, we was taught respect.
So was I.
If and trust me, if you didn't respect that person, you was in trouble.
Boy, was you.
Okay? We was taught to respect older people,
Your elders.
your elders. We was taught to respect them. We was taught to respect women. We was taught to respect a lot of things. Okay, but that's not taught nowadays. Nowadays, kids are seeing dads beat up mom. Kids are seeing dad or mom cheating on dad or mom.
Or laying around drunk all the
Or
time.
laying around drunk and high all day.
Yep.
Okay? And it's true. It's true. Kids learn by what they see.
They think it's the norm, and
So-
it's not.
Yeah, they think it's the norm, and they're not told any different.
Nope.
So if a young boy is seeing his dad slapping his mom and getting drunk all the time, he thinks that's the way it should be. So he's going to do it. His kid's going to do it. His kid's going to do it. It's going to be
Generations.
it's just going to be a generational thing. Okay? But if a kid sees his dad treating his mom with respect and vice versa, then the kid knows he's supposed to do that. That's the way it's supposed to be. Okay? So yeah, you're right. Nowadays marriage ain't nothing like it used to be. Not a thing.
I've never been married, and at this point, I don't want to ever be married.
But marriage is not a bad thing if you get the right person. See, yeah, thank you, Lord. Okay. How do you know if it's the right person? How do you know if it's the right person? And I'm going to tell you right now, there's no way to answer that.
Other than you'll know.
Other than you'll know. You're right. That's it. You will not know other than you will know. And how will you know? You can't stop thinking about them. You're thinking about them 24/7.
You go to bed, sleep thinking about them. You wake up thinking about
And
them.
the last thing on your mind, the first thing on your mind.
Yeah. And all the hours in between.
You want to see them. Even if it's just go up and say hi, you want to do that. And when you're around them, you're like jelly. Your legs are weak, your heart's pounding. You can't wait for them just to say one word, even if it's hi. You're looking for it. You're waiting on it. Okay. But how do you know? You just know. Now nowadays they don't go off of that. Nowadays love has turned into lust.
Yep.
It's ooh, check that out. Then you get a date with them. Something happens. Happens a little bit more often. Then all suddenly you think you're in love with them and you get married. And a year later you're divorced. Because it's no longer fun anymore. Okay? Newsflash. Marriage is not always fun.
It's got its ups and downs.
It's got its ups and downs just like anything else does. It's not all joy. It's not all peace. It's not all quiet. Okay? We got to know our roles. We got to know our roles in marriage. Men, you're there to provide and protect. You're there to be the head of the house. Women, you are there to be with your mate no matter what. And in the older days, we've seen this. In the older days, there was wives getting beat by drunk men. There was men getting cheated on, so on and so forth. But no matter what, they stuck it out. They stuck it out. Okay? But let's understand something. And the Bible gives 2 reasons why you can get a divorce. All right? Maybe I shouldn't be putting this on the marriage thing, but I'm going to put it here. 2 reasons the Bible says you can get divorced. Number 1, hard-heartedness. If you're getting beat on, you're getting abused, you're allowed to get a divorce. You're allowed. Because God does not want you to get beat on. The other one is adultery. If that person's cheating on you, go. Go. You got some religions out there preaches you can't get a divorce no matter what. That's not what the Bible says. The Bible says hard-heartedness and adultery. If they're cheating on you, leave them. If they're beating on you, leave them. God will honor that. God will honor them 2 things.
Why?
Why will he honor them? Well, number 1, God does not want to see you get beat in the name of love. He does not want to see you get, okay. All right, Lord. I didn't want to, but all right, I will. He don't want you to see you get beat, punished for nothing. That's sad in God's eyes. So God does not want you to see that. So God will honor that divorce. He will. He'll honor it. God will not honor divorce just because you want to leave because, it just ain't fun no more. God won't honor that. He will honor, if you're being cheated on, he will honor that. That's adultery. Now, I wasn't going to say this, but Lord brought it to my attention, so apparently I must say it. I was married, and my wife cheated on me a lot. And I was driving down the road one day, and God asked me this simple question. He asked me this simple question. Why do you want to stay with a woman that cheats on you all the time? And I said, because that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to make it work. Adultery is a legal reason through God to get a divorce. All right? And I told him. And I told him straight out like this. I said, Lord, I'd rather be with her cheating on me than not being with her at all. All right? Because I thought I was doing the Christian thing. Making it work no matter what. Okay? No. God flat out asked me, why? Why? So yes, if you're being cheated on, it's okay in God's eyes to get out. And I did. I got out eventually. This guy kept on me. Really? Really?
What are you doing?
Really? So yes, there is reasons. Okay? When you get married to somebody, you're getting married for the love, for the attention, for the togetherness. You're not getting married to get beat on, get cheated on, get abused. No, that's not marriage. That's lust that turned into anger. Okay? 2 Corinthians 6:14. 2 Corinthians 6:14 says this, and this is important, people, very, very important. Be not equally yoked together with unbelievers. For, get my eyes in here. For what fellowship has the righteousness with the unrighteousness, and what communication has the light with the darkness? Let me put this in English for you. I have seen this over and over and over and over since I become a pastor. What's this mean? If you are a Christian lady or a Christian man, do not date somebody that is not a Christian. Do not date somebody that don't go to church, that don't believe in God. They're unequally yoked with you. Because I'm going to tell you why. Again, I've been preaching for 13, 14 years now, and I've seen this multiple times. I have seen men and women that's single, that come to church every Sunday, that love God with all their heart, that goes out and volunteers and does this and that. Then they find a person that's not a Christian, and they get with that person. Within a month, you'll never see that person in church again. Unequally yoked. What happens? I don't care how strong you are in God. I don't care how much you trust God, how much you believe in God, how much you love God. If you're with somebody that is not a Christian, eventually they will pull you away from God. They will take you out of this church, whatever church you're going to, they will take you out of it, and after a while, you won't even remember who God was. You'll start partying, you'll start doing this like you did in the old days. So God is warning you right here. Do not be with anybody that is not equally yoked with you. Key word there was, what communication does light have with darkness?
It doesn't.
None whatsoever. You're either with God or you're not with God. So you either got the light or you don't have the light. And if you have the light and you end up with somebody that don't have the light, you're going to lose it. You're going to lose that light. I've seen it here. Multiple times I've seen it here. Is it a bad thing to be alone? Yes, God even says that. God says it's bad for a man to be alone and not have a wife. God says that. But God's also smart enough to know, and we ain't, if that person's not equally yoked with us, he or she is going to drag us out of here. I've seen it repeatedly. I've seen it over and over and over again. They find a man or a woman, they're going. We had a preacher here. I ain't going to mention no names because we're on video. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Was preaching with me. Met a woman that didn't go to church. You no longer see. 3 women that I know of. Was single. They was coming to church. They was loving God. They was praising and worshiping the whole 9 yards. They met a man that didn't go to church. We no longer see him. This is why God warned you, be equally yoked. If you're a Christian and they ain't, I'm sorry to say it, but you're going to leave. Don't get with them. Get with somebody that loves God as much as you do, or even more than you do. If you're a church-going person, then get a church-going person mate. And this is what God's telling you. Stay equal. Stay equal. If you're not equal, then they're not going to be the helpmate. They're going to be the problem. They're going to be the problem. And I got one more, I guess. I got to share with you guys. Let me find it here. We're going to go to Proverbs 18. For whatever reason, I didn't mark this. Proverbs 18, looks like 22. Proverbs 18:22. Whosoever findeth a wife findeth a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. If you find yourself a wife, you found a good thing. And God will favor that.
Don't earn it.
God will favor that. God will put his blessing on that marriage. But if you're just finding somebody out of lust, God will not favor that. God does not want anybody to be alone. But we got to understand something now. This is for out there in video land. And I suppose it even work for us three. Okay. If you do not have a mate, you're not alone. You still got God. You still got your friends. Okay? You're not alone. God's with you 24/7, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. He never leaves. You got friends. You get bored, you want to go do something, ask one of your friends to go do something. Get your mind off of it. Okay, but you're never 100% alone. Does everybody want love? Sure. But come on, we're humans. Everybody wants love. And we're getting the love right now. If you're single, you're getting the love right now from God. And that should sustain you always. But it should keep you until God brings out one person. And again, earlier, like we said, you'll just know. You'll just know. So marriage is not one. It's two that becomes one. Men, you are not the boss. She is not your toy. She is not your slave. She's your helpmate. She's the one that's going to be there for you when nobody, or should be the one that's going to be there for you when nobody else is going to be. She should be the one that's going to back you up no matter what. Ladies, saying that, understand this. If your man is doing something stupid, you don't have to back him up. You don't have to back him up. If he's doing something that's not of God, don't back him up. Okay? But in anything else, yes, be there for him. Men, be there for your women. Be there for your wives. Okay? Women are emotional creatures. God made you guys that way. It's not your fault. God made you like that. God made you like that to counteract us. Men. We are not emotional. Half the time we don't care about anything. Okay? And if we got feelings, you'll probably never know it. Okay? So that's why God made you guys. That's why God made you helpmates. A woman knows when there's something wrong with her man. A woman knows it.
Just not that.
But nowadays, they don't care. And vice versa. A man knows when there's something wrong with his wife. And nowadays, they don't care. And that's wrong. That's wrong. Marriage is more than being with somebody, and I'm going to say it right out here. Marriage is more than being with somebody for other things than sex. There's more to marriage than that. If you're just getting married because that person's good in bed, don't. Because it's going to fail. It's going to fail. So don't do that. Marriage is two that become one under God, are meant to be with each other until the dying days. So if you're not willing to stick out that long, don't get married. If you're only looking for one thing, don't get married. Okay?
And if you're married and your spouse is deceasing, that don't mean go out and run around on them then either.
No. If you're married, okay, in my case, as I explained earlier, if you're married and you know your spouse is cheating, that is not an okay for you to go cheat. No. Adultery is bad. The Bible tells you that. Don't commit adultery. So if your spouse is cheating on you, don't go play the I'm going to get even game.
2 wrongs don't make a right.
Exactly. 2 wrongs do not make a right. Don't do that. Just get the divorce. Or try to work it out. I tried. I stayed at least a month afterward anyway, try it. Okay? I tried anyway. But it won't work out. Okay? Because let me tell you something. If they do it once, they're going to do it again. Even if they told you they changed in any aspect, whether they, been beating on you, they say, I'm sorry, I've changed. They're going to do it again. Cheating, they're going to do it again. It's not one and done. It don't happen that way. Is there occasions where, I wouldn't be able to tell you how to explain this. Is there an occasion where a mistake was made? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Maybe. But try to work it out for a very short time. As soon as they do it again, your back should be packed and going.
And I can't stand it
Okay.
when people say, well, that's how God made me.
No,
No,
no.
he didn't.
God did not make you a cheater. God did not make you a woman abuser. God did not make you a boss. No, he did not. God made you to love. God made you to worship him. God made you his son or daughter. He did not make you which you're saying he did. No. Okay. So I'm going to cut it off there. Again, don't get married unless you're absolutely 100% sure that you want to spend the rest of your life with her, no matter what.
Or him.
Or him. Either way. May God bless you, and may you get the peace of Jesus. Amen.